Hello. All right. I had this scheduled in my calendar. I didn't end up scheduling it in the Facebook group because I wasn't 100% positive I was going to be able to make it. So I'm only going to schedule them if I'm 100% positive I'll make it. But I did have this one in there. I am, and I know nobody's here yet to comment on this live. So, but when you do see this, and if you watch this on replay, let me know. I am considering adding Twitter to my repertoire. But that way, what I'm doing is, let's say I'm planning on going live, but I don't necessarily want to schedule it. I could tweet out, "Hey, I'm planning to go live at this time if you want to catch it." Um, if that's something that might be interested, some of y'all might be interested, and let me know. I could even do it on stories on Instagram. I just don't want to bombard everything with it. And TikTok's a terrible place to do it. Posting stuff like that, TikTok just doesn't show it to anybody. Hello, people that are joining. Um, but yeah, and I'm also going to start doing these lives other places. So as part of this updated setup I have, I will start having several of the lives now cross-posted on YouTube, so you can go find them there later. This live will actually be posted to my YouTube channel. So if you're catching this later, maybe you want to watch it back on over there, you're welcome to do so. And yeah, so I did have a couple of topics prepared that I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to. Hold on, let me jot something down here. All right, let me add this. So while I'm going through this, I want you to feel free to ask questions. So I'm just going to leave this, I'm just going to put this up here. And yeah, I want any of you to feel free to ask any questions in the comments as you're going. So even if I'm going, I will get to those. So I'll end up eventually getting all this stuff working a lot smoother. Okay, so what did I want to talk about today? So I am, lately I've been on the mental side of weight loss. That's a topic I've been really kind of hounding on, and I am planning to continue to hound on that one for the remainder of this month because it really is important, and it's actually coming up a lot with a lot of people. So I don't know if it's just this time of year, but it seems like a lot of folks are hitting the real mental struggle bus. And I think it's because, weight loss as you're going along is fun, it's exciting. But once you've lost a bunch, you start to realize, oh, this is work. And you start having a higher likelihood of running into situations where you really want to return to old habits. It's not like we all deal with debilitating, crushing, or intense negative emotions on the regular. Sure, some of us are dealing with that all the time, but a lot of us aren't. And so when it comes up, and it comes up infrequently, a lot of us are not prepared for when that happens. We're not prepared for when the hard things show up. We haven't cultivated mental toughness and emotional resilience. And so, of course, in the moment, now we want to return to old habits. And this just, again, drives the need to have the mental work. Otherwise, some of you will turn to old habits. Some of you, when the emotions get real bad, you're going to stop. You're going to walk backwards, and you're going to come up with every excuse in the world. You're going to justify it and drive all sorts of bargains why it's okay. But at the end of the day, it's because you don't actually want to deal with what's in front of you. And look, I'm talking as somebody that's had to have this exact same conversation with myself, and sometimes I still do. I mean, it's not like I by any means have this licked and figured out. But there was a book that my dad loved. He would give it away all the time like candy. I'm not kidding. He'd keep them in his car. And they're just this little tiny book. And I've talked about it here in the group before, but it's a good time to talk about it again. And the book is this. It's As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. It's a fantastic book. It's a super easy, small read. And it is chock full of powerful information that, quite honestly, is the secret to the mental side of weight loss. Part of why I was able to do okay with the mental side is because all the principles in this book, I've been taught them. My dad taught them to me. I knew about this book as a kid. So what I want to do, and be looking for information becoming in the group, I want to do a book club with this book. So for those of you that are maybe thinking, well, I'd love to read it, but maybe I'd like to do a book club as something you could participate with it. And I would be leading it. It would be done hyper-focused around our journey with weight loss as well as personal transformation. So if you are interested in that, it is going to be a form of group coaching, but it is going to be hyper-focused. It is going to be very cheap, but it is something that is going to cost something because, hey, if you're going to do it, I want everybody in it to be serious. I don't want people coming in and coming out. I want to, we can have the same group and really create some great dynamics. So while it is going to be affordable, you will have to fill out a questionnaire if you want to do it because I'm looking to get people that are coming in and we're going to have a phenomenal conversation really digging into this stuff. So be looking for that to be coming out soon. But if you don't want to do that, go get this book and read it. It's so good. It's so good. But there's just some really powerful lessons in here that I think some really guided conversation could be really, really helpful. But I am going to also be doing some live streams on some snippets from this book in the future, talking about different elements and how you can use it. So again, if you're not able to do the group coaching, I don't want you to feel like you're going to miss out. There's still going to be stuff. I want things to be accessible to everybody, but I know that people are looking for different things in different ways. Let's see. Somebody here in the comments said, can't get my mind off keto and fasting, which I failed. Keep helping with the mental health. So yeah, so many of us, we get conditioned to thinking there's only one way to lose weight. It's keto or it's paleo or it's this or it's that or the other. We get really stuck in these mindsets. And it's okay. It's kind of human. I'm sure we've all heard of the word of cognitive dissonance, which is can be a real thing that hinders you in your weight loss because sometimes the truth is right in front of you. The answer is right in front of you, but you blind yourself to it by being just so biased with yourself. And so with weight loss, I remember I had to really have that conversation with myself and go, oh, eating healthy and losing weight aren't the same thing. I really had that locked in my mind that if I was to do Seco, because it's not like I'd never heard of it, I just thought Seco only worked if you ate healthy, and I thought keto was some sort of secret hack. I don't have to eat all my greens, and I don't have to eat all this healthy stuff, and I can just eat a bunch of meat, bacon, and eggs, and lose weight, and I can eat as much cheese as I want, and it's just so simple. I don't have to really give up much. Yeah, I can give up a few things, but I don't have to do things I don't like. I'll give up bread if I don't have to go eat all this healthy bread, diet, nasty food. That's how I thought it. It was either keto or that. And then when I finally was like, wow, I'm being an idiot. That's not it at all. I'm just coming up with a whole bunch of excuses because at the end of the day, what it is I just want to be able to eat as much as I want whenever I want. That's the part I was stuck with. But I realized it comes down to the thought. What was I saying in my head? My thoughts were not congruent with the truth. And so I just hid myself from the truth. Again, I know this is sort of like a heady thing, but this is the topic of the month, is talking about the mental side, really getting into your decision making. Why do you decide and do the things you do? Hence why we are going to do a big push about this book. So the way I would do it, I would look at it is if you're getting stuck on keto is ask yourself, what about keto is just so damn appealing? What about it is just so awesome that you just don't want to let it go? And find out what that is and then go see if it's true. Or see if the root cause of that is the thing. For me, it's because I just wanted to eat whatever. And when I realized, I'm like, oh, well, I think I am willing to change that. All of a sudden, I didn't feel like I had to do keto. Okay, another comment. I work out every day. I've been doing it for 5 months already. I haven't lost any, but also haven't gained any, which is, by the way, that's fantastic. That's a step in the right direction. I just can't get my eating habits corrected. I tried to talk to myself, but still doesn't work. I get so mad at myself. Still pre-diabetic, but liver enzymes back to normal. Okay. If you're not losing to boil it down, the only reason you're not losing is because you're not in a caloric deficit. But here's the thing. The reason why you didn't gain is because you're not in a caloric surplus either. You're living in maintenance. Congratulations. You should be excited about that because there's a good likelihood that you've been probably steadily gaining weight before if you're in this group. And so you're taking another turn. That should be celebrated. That's good news. That's really, really good news that you maintained at that level. Now, how do you get your eating habits corrected? So part of it is stop trying to correct all of it. Just pick 1 or 2 little things and just start working on that. If you're in pick a meal and I'm just going to start getting really good with breakfast. I'm just going to start making little tweaks with breakfast and making little adjustments there. And then, you run out of things that you're willing to change. All right, well, let's look at lunch. Let me see if there's some little changes here. I've been going to Chipotle and I always get queso, sour cream, and guac and shredded cheese. I always get all of those. why don't I just see what it's like if I cut one of those out? What if I just don't get queso and shredded cheese? I mean, I don't need cheese on cheese. I know cheese on cheese is amazing and delicious and wonderful, but do I need to do it every time? Like, see, you can start having that conversation with yourself and going, I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to see what happens. And I remember I started doing that. And I was just making these substitutions and realizing, wow, I'm still really happy. I still really enjoy what I'm eating. So hopefully that answers it. I know it's, there's not a ton of specifics in there, but everything I'm seeing from your comment, it sounds like you're on the right direction. You just have to start taking it a step further. Here we go. So somebody asked, I was wondering if 14,000 steps a day to 20,000 steps a day, would that be considered active or somewhat active? I have no idea. This is where you have to pick a number and see what happens with the scale. So the whole steps per day thing is totally arbitrary. The whole point is to get energy out. And you're looking at steps, but you're better suited by looking at your habits, looking at data like maybe the calories component, because you could have two people. I could take 10,000 steps and you could take 10,000 steps. You will burn significantly more calories than me because I'm lighter, which that plays to my benefit. I'm also probably from a shape standpoint, I know compared to the beginning, I'm in much better shape than I was. So it's much easier for my body to traverse that 10,000 steps. Well, that's comparing me to you. Well, what if we compare you to the you of 3 months ago? I don't know how long you've been doing this, but when you first start walking, you're expending a lot of energy. It's new, it's hard, it's difficult. But if you every day, just your exercise is doing the same 10,000 steps over and over and over again, your body's just going to start getting very efficient at doing them. It's not going to burn as much energy as it was in the beginning because your body has gotten better at doing it. You've gotten in better shape. Your body even biomechanically will start to walk better because your body's going to, again, get more efficient. That's what our body always wants to do. So I don't know what would make it more active. You could take the same 14,000 steps, but maybe you're doing it in 2/3 of the time. Now you're burning probably more calories than when you were started. It's all about the intensity that matters. So hopefully that helps. You're just going to have to pick a number and test it for 2 weeks and see what happens. Okay. Let's see if anybody else has if you have any questions, there we go. Go ahead and ask them. Right here in the comments. I said I'm not going to be here for super long, but as I said, this was just something I wanted to do for an easy afternoon. Oh, by the way, I'm going to have more regular group coaching classes coming up open. So for those of you that are on the group coaching wait list, you're going to get notified when that comes out. But I expect that later this month, I'm going to open enrollment for a few more classes, and they're going to be evening so that many people can make them. So if you've been saying, hey, I want to meet with Chris, I want to do the coaching, but the times don't work, maybe that's been the thing holding you up, I'm going to be adding some evening coaching and some lunch hour coaching. So just keep that in mind as that's coming. If that's something you're looking for, that's coming down the pipeline. No, here we go. Any suggestions for beginners to lifting? I want to buy some weights to do at home, but not sure where to start. So the best thing I like to do is just go to YouTube and type, let's say you go buy a dumbbell or let's say you buy a kettlebell. Just literally get on YouTube and do a search for quick, easy beginner kettlebell exercises. So let me pull up my screen here and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Beginner kettlebell workout. All right. Oh, I got to share my screen. So here we go. Okay. So here I just did a search for beginner kettlebell workout to see what pulls up. And so then I might look at, I'll just often look at the thumbnail and kind of get a sense if it's what I'm looking like. The first thing I like to do is see if anybody that's doing it that doesn't look like a try hard. Let's see. Here we go. Oh yeah, perfect. Let's say I bought a kettlebell. Kettlebells 101, how to get started. If you've never done it before, I would totally just get this. It's got a bunch of views. And then, oh wow, she's all fancy with it. But we can skip ahead.
So that you can utilize the kettlebell for a range of movements, and you can get
so I would just watch this and go through it. This is a girl, if you don't know about her, she makes fitness videos for people that are just getting started, for beginners. Her stuff is fantastic. So if you're looking for some beginner exercise stuff, I would suggest checking out her channel. If you do that, be sure in the comments to say Chris sent you. because I've been sending her messages. I would love to get her on the podcast, but she hasn't responded. So maybe if you all go hound her in the comments, I'll be able to do that. So that's what I would. That's where I would say start for that. And so just do a search for whatever exercise you're going to do. If it's going to be dumbbells, just swap out kettlebells for dumbbells. How do you deal with having to not be active at all due to injury? It sucks. I had surgery twice. Yeah, twice on my weight loss journey. And so I had forced downtime. One of them was an inguinal hernia, so that really, really sucked because I couldn't move there for a while. And it was considered an elective surgery. Did not feel elective during the pandemic, and so I got pushed out for a while, and I ended up where I could barely walk. So, first thing I would say is your injury. Does it mean like you literally can't move? Like anything in your body? Like there for a while with my hernia, I legitimately had 3 weeks where I could barely walk, and I was not allowed to lift anything over 10 pounds. I mean, I truly could not do anything. So if it's like that, then you have to reduce how much food you eat, unfortunately. If you want to stay on your weight loss journey, you got to reduce your food. And you might even have to increase your food a little bit and just say, hey, I'm going to maintain a little bit right now. That way your body doesn't start going after muscle mass if it's just going to be a short-term thing. And now I would also say if you can move something. So my second surgery, I had appendicitis. So I was fine leading up to it. I didn't know. And then I ended up in the hospital. So I was down for 2 weeks. I was allowed to walk. So I couldn't do anything, but I could do light walking. The doctor said, I asked him specifically, said, what can I do? What am I allowed to do? And I'm like, can I walk? And he's like, yeah. He's like, just listen to your body. If it's hurting, you need to stop. I'm like, okay. So my advice is always A, follow the direction of your doctor, and B, ask your doctor. Don't just assume you can do nothing. I don't know what your situation is, but let's say you injure your legs, your arms still work. If you injure your arms, your legs still work. Fortunately, you got two halves of a body, an upper half and a lower half. You even have two sides, a right side and a left side. So if one side is hurt, do the other side. Calories don't care which part of your body they come out of. They just want to come out. All right, good question. Thank you for the recommendation with the group coaching. Yes, for those of you that are in the group coach, if you don't mind, if you've had a positive experience, letting people know, because I want to spread the good word about weight loss. Now, I will say about the group coaching. So the ones that are going on right now are educational. So we actually do. They're educational where we teach about weight loss and then we do the group support. I'm going to be opening up another education class, and I'm going to be opening up another just support class. So depending on which one you want to join, they're not going to be exactly the same price, and they're even not the exact same on the amount of time. So keep that in mind as you're with what's coming. So the ones right now, they're all the education classes. Let's see. Does it matter how often you eat during the day? No, not usually. Now it does matter. Okay. Actually, that's a nuanced question. It doesn't matter from a calorie standpoint. That is totally irrelevant. How many calories, like your body doesn't care when they come in and out of you. What does matter though is your hunger. So some people like to do the OMAD thing, but then you're hungry all day long. That's not a good thing. That's not helping improve your relationship with food and hunger. Some people will then just eat these itty bitty tiny meals in the day because they're so paranoid. Oh no, I might run out of calories at the end of the day. And so by the time you show up to dinner, you are always just ravenous and famished because you've not been eating enough. And so yeah, you're eating the same calories, but you're just kind of gorging yourself in the evening because you haven't been eating enough during the day. So my advice to people is listen to your hunger, and if you're hungry, you should eat. Now you got to get to know it. You might not be able to blindly trust it. In fact, many of you cannot blindly trust it. So you have to sort of, be a little smart about this. So I would experiment in my own life where I noticed if I ate a bigger lunch, everything went better. And so I ate lunch, but I noticed I could, generally speaking, skip breakfast, and that worked real well. So you do what works for you. Just understand from a calories in, calories out standpoint, it doesn't matter what time you eat. But from a behavioral and habitual standpoint, it does matter because if you're getting too hungry, you're inclined to make pretty poor choices. Great question, though. Nope, barely can walk due to horse accident. Well, that sucks. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear about that. Yeah, I mean, if you can't move, you can't move. And when that happens, you'll want to keep your food intake. You'll have to lower it from what you were doing before if you want to keep losing weight. And you'll definitely want to make sure you're getting plenty of protein in. And don't push it. Like, don't do anything that delays that recovery, because you don't want to stay laid up any longer than is absolutely necessary. So I'm sorry to hear about that accident. That sucks. That's terrible. All wishing the best on the recovery. All right, let's see, what time are we at here? We're at 20 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up here. I enjoyed this. This one is going to be on my YouTube channel, and well, it's supposed to be. I'm testing the simultaneous recording thing, so we'll see how this works. If it's there, it worked. Otherwise, I will see you on the next live stream here in the group. Have a good day, everybody. I'll see you in the comments.